Now, our first responsibility is to steward the public's funds responsibly. Last year, we proposed nearly $515 million in cuts to balance the state's budget. In the budget request now pending for next year, we propose another $344 million in reductions. We have also proposed a disciplined approach to the use of rainy day funds. We cannot maintain the public's confidence if we do not search relentlessly for ways to deliver services more efficiently and at lower cost. Now, so far this year, revenues are running ahead of benchmark, giving us no immediate need for drastic action. Nevertheless, I have directed my cabinet to forego all but the most essential hiring and to postpone any programming we can. We are also developing a plan for outright cuts in current spending in the event that revenues start to slip. Rest assured, we in state government will be prepared in the event of a more serious national downturn that reaches Massachusetts. But still, restraining spending does not mean freezing spending. That is neither warranted nor wise. There are high-impact investments, such as in early education and extended learning and in violence prevention, that we cannot afford not to make. But if making the highest priority expenditures requires making deeper cuts elsewhere, I will make them without hesitation. Second, we will accelerate plans to invest in our infrastructure and our people. I meet and talk with CEOs and investors every week, the heads of homegrown Massachusetts companies looking to expand and grow, chief executives of multinational companies considering whether to locate a new facility or office in the Commonwealth, venture capitalists looking for the next big bet. When they talk about what they need to be successful in Massachusetts and expand the job base, sometimes it's a loan or a grant or a sewer system or an off-ramp. Sometimes it's affordable housing for their employees and those employees' families. Sometimes it's help identifying a site for their new plant or guidance through the permitting process. More often than not, they want to know how they can tap into the unparalleled talent, the most highly skilled, highly educated workforce in America. Investing in ourselves positions Massachusetts for growth and economic security over the long run and primes our economic pump right now. We must do more, and we can. Last year, I directed my team to develop a 5-year capital spending plan. We inventoried our crumbling infrastructure and the backlog of capital needs in everything from roads and bridges to laboratories on the campuses of state universities. More than a decade of chronic neglect makes a very long list. But we prioritized and pared it down to what was feasible and affordable. That plan is the first of its kind in Massachusetts, is completely transparent, and has received the support of Wall Street. Based on that analysis, we have submitted bond bills to use our capital budget to invest in higher education, transportation, housing, and energy and environment programs, among others. The Speaker, the Senate President, and I are working together to assure prompt passage of each of these measures by the end of this session. With their support, by this summer, we will have the authority to start rebuilding roads and railways, modernizing public housing and building new affordable units, expanding broadband to underserved communities, renovating our state college and university campuses, improving beach, park, and recreational facilities, and preserving the open spaces that make Massachusetts so appealing a place to live, work, visit, and invest. Within 90 to 180 days after authority is granted, we mean to launch a massive restoration of this Commonwealth and create thousands of good jobs at good wages all across the Commonwealth in the process. Now, there is more we can do. Today in the Commonwealth, we have hundreds of bridges that are structurally deficient, from Longfellow Bridge right here in Cambridge and Boston to the Little Gill Montague Bridge out in western Massachusetts. Many more become so every year. If we stick to the conventional schedule for repairs, there will be nearly 900 structurally deficient bridges by the end of my second term. Now, if that is what the conventional schedule does, it's time to be unconventional. The legislative leadership, the Treasurer, and I believe there is a better, smarter financing plan that enables us to start that work now. And by acting now, we can cut that deficient bridges backlog in half in 8 years, avoid construction inflation, and create thousands of jobs. Our plan to address deficient bridges will have shovels in the ground and people at work in 90 days. There are other ways we can use available funds to jumpstart job creation right now. I've asked Secretary O'Connell to take $20 million of local infrastructure grants, the so-called MORE program, and put them to work in ways that have immediate payoff in construction jobs and job-creating private investment. Speed is essential because hundreds more jobs are at stake. All told, we're talking about investing up to $16 billion in our public infrastructure in the next several years, and front-loading as much of that as we responsibly can, all of it within debt limits that we can afford. That means thousands of new direct and support jobs and a substantially rebuilt foundation for future opportunity all across the Commonwealth. And I am confident we can do it. To assure that these opportunities are widely available to people who need them, we will, wherever possible, condition state contracts on providing training and entry-level opportunities, as well as on partnering with small, minority, and women-owned businesses. In that spirit, I've directed Secretary Bump to expedite the awarding of workforce training grants. Within the next 90 days, Secretary Bump and her team will release over $18 million in grants to 200 Massachusetts companies to train over 16,000 workers for jobs available right now. Now, however anxious any of us may feel today, let's remember that economies are cyclical and recovery will come. When it comes, we must be ready. In addition to investing capital today, we can leverage other opportunities for tomorrow.